In this video, we're talking all about what makes a good game great. Hey there, Kevin here. Yes, we are talking all about what makes a good game into a great game. And the short answer is that it typically needs to be fun. However, of course, this is a little bit problematic in a sense that we all like different things. One thing that most great games have in common is that they all trigger dopamine. Now, dopamine is the brain's reward system and is known as the feel-good hormone. It's released when we do something enjoyable or beneficial. It's associated with feelings of pleasure, satisfaction, and also motivation. On a fundamental level in gaming, when we learn something new or complete a challenge or earn an achievement, we get a boost of dopamine. Understanding dopamine's role significantly influences all the experience you have in games and thus in your game design. Crafting your games to balance learning, challenge and rewards will promise a steady release of dopamine and keep your players engaged. Through thoughtful design of your gameplay mechanics, progression systems and reward structures, you can fine-tune these dopamine releases to help the player stay motivated and satisfied throughout their experience. It's also in our DNA to be pattern learners, and in nature, on an evolutionary survival level, this helps us make sense of the world around us. Games can tap into this by teaching us unique patterns that we can create and help the player really enjoy this learning process. This is also a critical factor in why we stop playing games too. Ones that we used to love and play all the time maybe fall out of favour, and perhaps the game has not delivered any new patterns for us to learn, or have become too simple or even too difficult. Sometimes they're explained too quickly, or worse, or too slowly, and we become bored or disinterested and we are no longer stimulated. This pattern learning trait is one of the major factors in the success of the mobile game Aquapark. This game revolves around a familiar scenario of an aquapark slide race. The key factor here, however, is its unique selling point is that it encourages the players to cheat, or at least feel like they are. By flying off the sides of the slide, you're able to bypass the standard route and free fall and take shortcuts, giving you that unfair advantage. Essentially, the game makes you feel like you're cheating and breaking the pattern. This makes you feel smart, skillful and powerful. And it also gives a significant boost in dopamine. So whilst we know that dopamine delivery is the driving forces, or one of the driving forces behind hooking players into a game, does that inherently make it good or great? Well, what would be fun for me will often not be fun for you. I, for instance, can spend hours grinding mindlessly in an arcade idle game, whereas you might hate this experience and prefer a challenging, more complex puzzle to solve. Whilst at the same time, we can say that both of these games are fun at the same time. Both games are good. And here is the crux of the matter. Making a good game is all about your target audience and what are the key triggers for dopamine for them. What do players enjoy when they play these types of games? What really hooks them in for that particular type of game? Therefore, really we should reframe the question to what makes a good type of game, or what makes a type of good game great. We need to get into the minds of our players and look subjectively from their perspective. What do they love about these types of games? So most successful games typically consist of several key elements, each contributing to an engaging and rewarding experience for their players. So let's go through some of these key ingredients. Engaging gameplay. A strong core loop that is fun and easy to understand but difficult to master. Well-designed challenges striking the balance between difficulty and the player's skill. A strong story or theme by immersing the player and let them experience a fantasy or transports them thoroughly to another world. Meaningful choices, a sense of agency where their actions and decisions really do influence the game's direction. Pleasing aesthetics with polished visuals, audio and music that is appropriate for the audience and the theme. Replayability, promoting multiple play sessions and creating experiences that the player wants to return to again and again. Rewarding progression systems, a sense of accomplishment, and well-designed progression systems can truly elevate your game to the next level. Smooth controls and performance. With buttery smooth and intuitive game controls, this promotes fun and not frustration. Innovation on familiarity. Being unique in some way, bringing fresh ideas to familiar concepts and existing popular mechanics. A combination of these factors tailored directly to your target audience is often what makes a good game great. Of course, some games can overwhelmingly be classed as good on several levels, even if you disagree, and that's totally okay. A general consensus that a game is technically good or aesthetically pleasing is common and very normal. You see these things time and time again in like awards ceremonies for films and the like. I'm sure you'll have examples of movies that won loads of awards and you just don't see it. So what makes a good game great? It's a game that fully understands the player who loves to play that type of game. They lean heavily into delivering dopamine triggers at the right time and at the right pace. What's important is that your target audience loves the game that you made for them, and they want to play it over and over again. So I hope that's a little bit helpful to give you some ideas of what elevates your games to the next level. Are you delivering these hits of dopamine that will really light up your players and delight and wow them all the way through their experience? Of course, it always depends on the type of game you're building, but really try to understand what players love about that particular type of game and how you can build systems and moments in your game that will truly want them coming back for more. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Do leave me a comment as always below if you've got any questions, and I will see you on the next video.